I call bullshit. You knew it was going to happen. Every minute of every fucking day. You forgot about the most important of the bunch. Fuck you. Phil Spencer plays a lot of fucking games. Like, I was impressed by the interview that I heard about him recently. Like, somebody like sat down and didn't interview him, but interviewed everyone around him. Like, and not even just the corporate yes man or anything, but it's like him and one of the guys over at Nintendo meet up at E3 every year. Just, I think this year Reggie he walked into their booth, and they were just giving each other shit before like just having a little hug and going to talk about business shit. And it's like, okay, so you're on the show floor of E3, yeah. And apparently, Phil Spencer is random friends with like a group of three dads who all play together. Like one of them, one of them, and have been playing together for fucking years. It's like, yeah, like, mm-hmm. Shit like that is what gives me hope in Spency. Like, I am not one to bow down in the cult of fucking personality bullshit. Fuck Elon Musk. Fuck everybody else. Fuck all these people you put on a pedestal who are just literally ringing you for fucking money. Jeff Bezos, all the other fucking shitheads. Yes. But the fact that Phil seems like a regular dude is the bit that makes me more impressed with him. Like he goes home and plays games with a bunch of dad friends who all have very limited time to play video games. It's like that's cool. That's kind of how my life is. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Like he's a dude who's literally like this year I think he nailed it because he talked about the pros and cons of the whole streaming bullshit. And he was like, streaming the game is probably not going to be for me because I have the console. I prefer that play style. Yeah, and it's probably not going to be for Jeff Gersman and it's not going to be for X, Y, and Z, but it is going to be for some people. And, you know, we don't know if we're going to price for that. We don't know what the model is. We'll see how it goes as the tech develops. But then, like 2 years ago, he was on that show and he was like, "Dude, Giant Bomb, sorry, not Giant Bomb, fucking God of War is one of the best games of this generation." He's the head of a console development, complimenting his rivals on the great game that they made. Nobody from Sony would do that. Nobody from Nintendo would do that unless it's. Mhm. Yeah, like that's the shit that pleases me about him. He seems like a real person, not a corporate puppet with a hand up his ass. Mm-hmm. Kind of. Yeah.
Yep.
As ready as Reggie will allow me to be. Nimb.
It was either out the mouth or out the butt, one or the other.
Hello, governor.
Hello.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Mm-hmm. Next Friday. Yep. It's next Friday. I hate this English American thing. The next Friday, which is this upcoming Friday, the 27th of September, I believe it is.
4
No,
days and a wake up.
next means the next Friday. Next means the next upcoming Friday. That's what it means. Video games, and also this past month.
I was
Okay,
just like,
hold on,
crap, I
hold
gotta
on,
pull
hold
up
on.
lists.
Let me
Hang
go
on.
back. Let me go back. Okay, so I'm going to start with about 3 weeks ago. I played Supermarket Shriek, which I actually did play this week. I think that was this week. Was that this week? Did I complete that game this week? You people who read my Twitter feed will know that better than I do because I can't remember what happened yesterday. Awesome. So yes, I played Supermarket Shriek. I literally loaded up the game, went into the menu, it popped out achievement. I closed the game, I uninstalled it. It was a good ride while it lasted. And I Yes, there was. And that achievement is still one of my favorite achievements ever. I don't care. Like, it's such a deep cut and it's just so good. Okay, so I have a slight problem, and this is a problem I have talked about on the show before. Specifically, the problem I have is hashtag hard drive space. I have a 4 terabyte drive and a 500 gigabyte Xbox One. My current well, I'm going to use the term current, and you know it's a lie. My current memory as of earlier this week was 99.9% full, with 7 games waiting to update that couldn't update because there wasn't enough space to update the games. So I have a problem. I need to beat or uninstall some games. Like right now, the biggest will they won't they is Gears of War 4. I have not played that game in a while. I don't see myself ever going back to it. It takes up 112 gigs. So tonight, that's probably going to get installed. Dude, I beat the game. I remember most of that stuff. I'm fine. Yeah, I mean, it's the classic thing of me where I need to take a deep breath, accept I will never get seriously 4.0, and just uninstall the game. You ain't getting it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it probably has a secret achievement, which is 5.0 Part 2 as well. So I need to just take a breath, accept it, and uninstall Gears 4. That's fine. Exactly. I need to frozen it and just let it go. Like, if I love it, it will return to me in the form of Gears 5, which it already has technically returned to me. So there's some sort of time paradox going on here too. So sure. Yes, exactly. You go right around the corridor to go back in time, and you go left around the corridor to go forwards in time. It works out perfectly. In the process of the hard drive space mental break I'm having, I sorted my games by size, as you do. Because at the end of the day, is I am the hero of the indie game that I have not started yet, which is a side-scrolling 2D beat 'em up. That takes up 726 megabytes. I'm not concerned about I am the hero. I am concerned about Lego Star Wars: The Force Awakens, which takes up 22 gigabytes. Yeah, So for the past 2 weeks, I have been slowly but surely chipping away at Lego Star Wars: The Force Awakens. I have beaten Lego Star Wars: The Force Awakens. All the DLC, everything, 64 achievements out of 64 achievements, including the stupid glitch ones that took me like 7 tries to try and get, all done, all installed, 22 gigabytes, free and clear on my hard drive. Start those updates now, please, folks. The Star Killer Destruction, yeah, it's garbage. It's the worst. Honestly, the Force Awakens Lego Star Wars game is one of the lower tier games for me. Like, it does so much stuff right. It's got, I mean, it's something people talk about when they talk about Alien games, when they talk about Star Wars games, when they talk about like certain franchises. You can nail a game in that franchise very easily by just getting the sound right. Like, exactly, you play a good Alien game with a good version of that blaster, and I don't care. That game is great because you've got that really solid machine gun noise that those rifles fire. Oh yeah, it takes me back to being a child every single time. I adore it. It does so much right and then just so much wrong. Like, there's so much stuff in these games. It's not. Mm-hmm. It. I'm not. I was a fan of it when I started. I'm not a fan of it by the end of it. And this game does one of the most cardinal sins for a Lego game that I've ever seen. Which my wife had to listen to me rant about this for like 20 minutes the other day. So she got the easy version. She got the hard version. You guys are getting the easy version. When you go into free play in the Lego games, you play a campaign level once. It goes to essentially a Lego version of the movie, story, book, whatever. Then you go back into it and it is free play, and you can choose whoever you want to play through that same level. So exactly. Every single other Star Wars game or every single other Lego game that I've played, when you go into that free play mode, the game thinks for itself, and the game thinks, okay, so on this level, to get all of the mini kits, which is the collectible you have to get to build the little Lego model at the end of the level. So for this, you'll need someone who can destroy the gold. You'll need someone who can use force powers, someone who can use dark side powers. You'll need a little person and a swimmer, and then that's it. So you get. Yeah. So generally speaking, you go into free play, you pick the one person who you care about, and then the game will just autofill the rest of your roster with people. Yeah. In yes, Kylo Ren as small forward, please. So it does that in all the other Lego games. It gives you exactly the people you need to complete that level and get all of the collectibles. In this game, it doesn't. Like, you will go into a level like I always picked Rey from the Resistance base because Rey from the Resistance base has a lightsaber, has the agility, can use scavenger things, and has a blaster. So she can do like 9 different things, and Rey is cool. She can do like 9 things as one character, so you don't need to split out like 5 different characters with 5 different abilities. That's great. And I get into the levels like, oh, you need Dark Force powers to open this thing here, so you can go through and get a mini kit. So I just hit bumper, scroll through my 6 people, and it's like, okay, so I've got the TIE Fighter, I've got an Ewok, I've got BB-8, I've got Chewie with the gas mask on, and then I've got Emperor Palpatine or some other. Basically, I don't have anybody who can access that thing. It's like, why would you do this? So now you need to then hold Y, go into the character select radial menu, go down to the free play menu, and then find that person on the list of 7,000 people that you can unlock. I tell my wife I could never remember where Admiral Akbar was on the list, so I always went with Jar Jar Binks because if I needed someone who swam, I just went with Jar Jar because he was very bottom right of the screen. He was right there. I learned right as I stopped playing the game. It's in alphabetical order, by the way. So Admiral Akbar is actually in the top left.
I
Yeah.
was gonna bring that up, but
It's Mhm. It's in alphabetical order. So if you need Han, you just go to the H's and find him along the H line. Because the way they used to do it was the order of unlocking was how it showed up. So it used to be a case of the people you unlocked nice and early in the campaign, they would be first on that unlock screen, and then the secret characters would be later, and the secret characters again would be later and later and later. So it would be a case of the earlier you unlock them, the higher they were on that list. And now it's just like, okay, sure, whatever. Why not? Alphabetical order seems like a smart thing to do, considering the amount of people that they have in those games.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, I'm a moron.
Apologies for anyone watching
not?
this video. Apparently I was muted this whole time.
Yep.
Thanks, Windows, for just changing my sound settings around.
Yeah, Windows / streaming things / whatever.
Cool. Thank you, Mechanical Beacon Chat, for letting me know.
Yes, thank you. I love the fact that you responded clearly through the app for the chat, because now we have a response in every single streaming service that we're using in our chat.
That's right.
Great.
All green checkboxes.
But yes, Lego Star Wars. I completed it. It's now uninstalled. Specifically The Force Awakens. I've already done all the other jabroni ones.
Yeah. It's not great.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's not the one I would recommend.
No, it's the worst thing is it's about the right size. Like, it's just big enough, but not Lego Marvel Avengers. Here is the entirety of New York.
Lego
kind of.
Batman 3. Here's 7 worlds that are all really big.
Yes, exactly. It's not that big.
Yeah, thankfully.
I played. I'm gonna end with my 2 games as a service games. I played some Doom 2016.
Doom 2016?
Okay. Because number one, I could do with a quick run through that to reacclimatize myself to the heat as I get ready for Doom Eternal coming out soon.
Yeah, Doom Eternal.
Yeah. Also, that thing takes up 89 gigabytes on my hard drive box.
Yeah, I forgot at some point they were just like, whatever, you guys aren't buying the season pass, everyone can have it. It's like, oh, I just downloaded 60 gigs. Cool, thanks, guys.
Yep. Which includes a whole bunch of multiplayer stuff and whatever that I don't care about.
Snap map.
So, basically, I've already beat this game twice. I played through it on the normal difficulty. I enjoyed it. I played through it again for fun. And I'm like 5 achievements away from my prerequisite of beating the game with all of the collectibles. Like, again, it's a stupid thing. I need my 1000G. I need my retail 1000,
well,
please.
a lot of the collectibles are hidden in cool places.
Yes, they are. And some of them are really cool, like, things. Like, I forgot that there is one of the runes that you can do, gives you infinite ammo for every gun except for the BFG, as long as your armor is above 80.
Oh, cool. I don't know if I got that one. Interesting.
But it's one of those things in the game where the game has so much depth, because like you unlock this rune. Now this rune has a challenge, and if you complete that challenge for that rune,
it levels up.
You get an additional perk. Like the ones I run around with are glory kills give more ammo.
Yep.
I have infinite ammo if I am above 80 armor, and glory kills happen faster. So.
Oh, nice. I don't know if I got that one either.
It's really cool because you shoot an imp, he goes into the glory kill animation thing, and then like you click the stick and it's just like sweep flat dead. Like, there's no huge animation. It's just
you just look at him and
really
he's just
fast equivalents. Yeah, it's like no drama or anything like that. It's just like it's literally the Doom Marine on steroids, just good cleaning house.
Yeah.
So I had a quick look. I'm 4 or 5 achievements away from getting my retail 1000, which is, honestly, it's just all of the secrets. It's the secrets, it's the weapon upgrades, it's the stupid challenges for the weapons too. So it's like, you know what? I'm going to put it on I don't want to die young.
Right.
I'm just going to run through the game, get some collectibles, watch a video guide, enjoy the run through, enjoy the story as I'm going again.
Yeah.
And we should be fine. And you know what? Doom 2016 is still a hell of a game.
Yeah.
It's a hell of a game.
It's
and the combat
really
music every time you rip open one of those nests is just like, okay, give me
It's
hardcore metal every single time, please. I really like Doom 2016. I'm so glad you finally got around to it, Boston, because of course that made you pre-order Doom Eternal.
As soon as I finish it, I pre-ordered Doom Eternal.
Yep.
I will be purchasing very few games day one this year, and Doom Eternal is 100% one of those.
Yeah. If you haven't played Doom 2016 and you're a fan of first-person shooters in general,
Yeah.
stick it on the easiest difficulty and run through it.
It's so much fun on the easiest, because, like, you're really never at risk of dying, and stuff dies really fast.
And really satisfyingly as well.
Yeah, it feels really good.
I just got to the boss, like on my collectibles playthrough now. I just got to the boss where you kill him, then you go to hell, and then you kill him again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I just got to that boss.
It's so good.
It's the voice acting is great. Like the story is amazing. The fact
I really like the voice actor for
Sam Hayden.
Yeah, Samuel Hayden. I really like his like gruff, also robotic android
voice.
Yeah, I really like him.
Yeah, Doom 2016 is great.
Yeah,
you should go play. My final two games this week, my games as a service games. Oh my word, I need to get a life. I'm going to start with Apex Legends.
Mm-hmm.
So the season pass is coming to an end very rapidly. It's like 2 weeks away at this point for the end of the season pass. I said at one point I would be satisfied with level 50. I'm now level 60 something or another for the season pass on Apex Legends. I am happy. This game is great. It's still so much fun to play it. And there is a current phrase going around my squad, our squad, I should say, which is my wife and myself. Because M has this habit of the second she sees something gold, which is the highest tier of rarity, she doesn't care. She will literally run into the middle of an open battlefield where there's 7 squads shooting at each other, and we are unnoticed. We're fine. We're quiet. She'll see a death box with a gold like outline, which means it's got something gold in it.
And like a magpie.
She 100% runs straight at it. And it's just like, okay. So my wife came up with the term that M is horny for gold.
Sure.
And then that just evolved into horny for blank. Triple takes, shotguns, rifles, whatever it is, it's just become the current ongoing phrase.
Right.
But it makes perfect sense because it's like you get a loadout that you like, you might tweak that and change it later, but it's like, so my wife right now, I think, is rolling around with, I can't remember his name, the Wingman, which is the Magnum rifle, the Flatline, which is the heavy ammo machine gun. Then maybe next week she'll change her mind and she'll be like, oh, no, now I want the triple take. So then it's like triple take and blank. So it's horny for blank is the new thing where it's just like you tell people what you want by using that phrase.
Right.
Which is
Calling
hilarious
dibs.
and terrible.
Yeah.
Exactly. Which you can actually call dibs. That's the best thing. It's like you literally just go boop boop and he's like, I want it. Or whatever the person says. Apex is still great. There is a new character coming soon. We will see how that goes. It makes me laugh because they're already introducing things into the world where every time it hits round 2, this new person is apparently a hacker. And when it hits round 2, everything gets super glitchy with like the announcements and the screens and everything.
Oh,
it's like,
cool.
well, there's the character kind of little sneaky introduction thing going on.
I like it.
It's interesting so far, and we'll see how it does in season 3. Season 2, I think, is a huge step up from season 1.
Good.
Like the progression feels good, the rewards feel good. The cosmetic unlocks problem between myself and my wife happened again.
Oh no.
Which is when you hit level 50 on the season pass, you get an elite cosmetics box.
Oh, okay.
And it's like, it's going to be a gold related cosmetic. Doesn't matter what else you've unlocked, this one will be golden. So I unlocked it and it was a skin for something or another. I can't even remember what it was a skin for.
A weapon or a character?
I think it was a weapon.
Okay. So it doesn't really matter.
Nothing really matters, to be honest to me. I don't care about cosmetics. That's my wife's department.
Right.
And yeah, so like 2 rounds later, I leveled up my battle pass again and randomly got a second level 50 gold tier exclusive cosmetic box.
Oh no.
And this was while I was at a party with my wife and with them, and my wife is literally screaming profanities at the top of her voice because I got a second. It was a glitch of some form, like
Sure.
obviously it was, and I got a really cool longbow skin out of it, which is like one of the high-end longbow skins.
Mm.
And I was like, okay, sure.
I'm so sorry.
Yes, there was literally nothing I can do about it. It's like a curse. It's like I don't care about cosmetics.
Right.
And yet I get everything that she wants, and she does care. It's not great. But Apex is fine. Like, my wife is currently in chat screaming about how I got 2 crates and how it's unfair with sad faces. Like, hi, honey. But Apex is fun. Like, honestly, I'm surprised at how much this game has grabbed me again. I'm pretty sure my wife is going to hit level 100 with the season pass. No, there you go. She said she's just mentioned in chat she's level 99.
Nice.
Like, she's going to nail the level 100 on the season pass. She's got a week to get to level 110, which is the final quote-unquote level of it. She'll probably hit it. That's to be expected at this point, to be honest. But again, the season pass is great. Like, the rewards are great, the challenges are great, the different things they've included with this second season pass shows you how it should be done.
That's great.
It's a shame that they had the whole BS halfway through this season with the stupid special event where it's like, oh, it's only $27 for this one skin if you want to buy it.
Right, and it's like, wait, that's not... You guys did that wrong.
Mm-hmm. So, in other words, EA got their groupie little mitts on it again, basically.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like. But Apex is great. You should play it.
Yeah.
A lot.
It's free.
Yep. And my final game this week, it's good old faithful Dead by Daylight.
The old Dead by Friday.
I'm saving this for last because Stranger Things DLC just came out.
Oh, right.
Mm-hmm. And the game also went free play weekends with Xbox Live Gold.
Haha.
So get ready for delicious noobs as killers. Get ready for delicious rookies as survivors.
Yeah.
And get all those sweet chivos that you can, because it's funny because we talked about it midweek. Like, I think me, my wife, and a couple of people, Rob and T, talked about it on Twitter. Like, Dead by Friday, definitely going to happen this week. Stranger Things DLC just came out. It's a free-to-play weekend, whatever. My wife started playing it earlier on Friday than we normally start, and literally it was like the sharks had come out to play. Because all of a sudden she jumps into a lobby with some random survivors, and there is a level 4 ranked
Meat's back on the menu, boys.
Yes. It's 100% exactly what it was. It was literally like the sharks had come out because everyone knows it's a free-to-play weekend, and you're going to
get those blood points.
Mm-hmm. If it was like a double XP weekend, that would have been even worse, I think. So she jumps in. I've never seen a rank 4 survivor, ever. I've never gotten that high enough to be ranked with rank 4 survivors. There was one rank 4, at least 3 or 4 rank 6s, like a couple of rank 7s in there. It's like, yeah, the pros are dropping in to say hello, waiting for the noobs to come out and play, like a little couple of warm-up matches.
Waiting for the guppies to circle closer.
Yeah, exactly. And it was just like, I feel bad because then Dead by Friday happened, and it's me and my wife joined in, and then Rob and T joined in. And we are 4 people who have been playing this game relatively frequently every single week for about maybe 4 or 5 months minimum at this point. It's like, yeah, well, I feel bad, but, you know, we've got achievements to get, and achievements to get.
You guys are helping me with some achievements.
So the new people aren't going to haze themselves, I mean.
That's
exactly.
Right.
You can't teach them a lesson by having them run around against fellow noobs. They need to take their lumps. That's the rules. Everybody knows this.
Yep.
So we jump in, we play a couple of rounds of whatever, and so my wife... It's the friendly competition that exists between my wife and I. She didn't realize how close I was to her achievement count-wise in this game until she loaded it up this weekend, and she was like, oh wait, he's at 83 achievements, and I'm at like 87 achievements.
Uh-oh.
He's getting too close. So it became achievement weekend.
That's right.
So,
This cannot stand.
Exactly. So we got my wife like 3 adept achievements. Like she jumped in, she got her adept with Ash from Ash vs Evil Dead. We of course bought the Stranger Things DLC. So we immediately rocked out her with, how did I forget his name? The boy from the show. Somebody help me.
Philip. 11.
Yes, sure. Philip.
I watched season 1 forever ago, and that was
I've never seen it.
The guy with the haircut from season 1, like
Okay.
the smarmy like kid who turns out to have a heart of gold. Why have I forgotten his name? I don't know. But yeah, he's in the game along with Nancy Wheeler. Why do I remember her name? I don't know. She's in the game. So this DLC came with 1 new map, 1 new killer, and 2 new survivors. Nancy Wheeler and funky hair guy who are
Your wife in chat says Steve.
Steve Harrington. There we go.
There you go.
Yes. So Steve's perks are pretty interesting. At the end of season 1, I don't know if you will remember this, Nimp, but there's a bit with Steve where he's wearing sunglasses and he's got the bat with the nails there and he's protecting the kids.
Yeah.
He is literally designated as their babysitter while everybody else is dealing with more important stuff. That is one of the perks for him in this game. It's called the babysitter, and it's all about helping other people in your group. The image for it is him wearing sunglasses with this nailed bat looking over his shoulder kind of thing. It's one of the coolest perk images I've seen in a long time. He looks pretty close to his actual human being. Like, he's the closest like actual survivor to the real life actor that I've seen in a while. Because they deliberately don't get likeness rights. They kind of skew it because that would be more expensive. And Nancy's is pretty spot on too. She's got some really cool perks. Like, they seem to have 1 perk each, which is like, okay, these are the perks that you want in your super character, in my case. David, in my wife's case, Dwight. Like, we want those 2 perks in our characters. We immediately bumped them both to level 10. My wife escapes with the 2 of them. Single shot runs, jump in as that character, jump out as that character. There's your adept achievement for playing as those characters with all of their unique perks. And then, because we're all a bunch of idiots and we were on a pretty solid run, there is an achievement in this game for every single survivor escaping from the hatch at the same time.
Oh, okay.
So this is going to get a little bit inside baseball. This is like frame counting in like beat 'em up games kind of level.
Right.
There's 2 escape methods, through the doors or through the hatch. The official designation for the hatch is that the hatch will only spawn when the number of generators repaired exceeds the number of living survivors by 1.
Okay. So you need 5.
Yes. So in order to have everybody escape through the hatch, you need to repair every single generator, then don't open the door to get out, find the hatch, have a special consumable item on your person called the black key, which will open the hatch ahead of schedule, and then everybody needs to escape through. But the hatch only stays open for 5 seconds while you have when you use the key.
Oh boy. Okay.
Yeah. An achievement both me and my wife had decided we ain't never getting there.
Sure.
Never. No way we're ever going to get that. We thought, let's give it a go. let's try it out.
Let's just try it.
You know, we've had nothing but like baby killers for the first. That probably phrased wrong. We've had nothing but amateur killers.
Yep.
For the first 10 rounds that we played or whatever. So let's just give it a go. Hopefully we can get one. We can repair the Genies, because literally the match before we decided, we repaired all the generators and the hatch spawned on my feet. And I was
wow.
Well, if only we had a black key, we could get that achievement.
Right.
We didn't. We all escaped. Next round, you're like, hello, motorbikes.
Jeez.
Next round, we thought, let's give it a shot. So we jumped in. We took some black keys with us. It didn't go well at first.
Okay.
The killer was really good. But then we made it through the skin of our teeth. We repaired all of the generators. I was dead on hook. My wife was dead on hook. T and Rob had somehow managed to avoid being hooked so far. We repaired the generators, and then the hatch spawns at my feet. Again. Okay, sure. Why not? And my wife is the one who has the black key, so she is with the other two, and it's like, okay, I'm on this part of the map with this house and this fence, and completely not helping at all. She finds her way to within the aura range of me, like, and then we meet up, we open the hatch, all four of us jump out, and we officially unlock the achievement, Where Did They Go?
Nice.
Which is a great achievement name for a killer looking for 4 people who just randomly escape through a hatch, which is impossible.
Yeah, they just suddenly disappear.
Exactly. We were so happy. It was so worth it. And my wife made poor life choices to stay up till like 11 p.m. on a work night for this exact reason.
That's dedication.
And it was great. It was so much fun. Like, the Stranger Things DLC is... it's solid DLC.
Nice.
Like, Boston, you haven't seen the show, so you don't officially care about any of this, I'm assuming.
I care about it because I think Dead by Daylight is cool.
Yes. So the killer is the Demogorgon. That's the killer for the DLC, for the Stranger Things DLC. That's the big bad guy from the first season. He is terrifying. Like, pink and slimy, and does the 4-leaf mouth thing open with the mouth inside. Like, makes horrifying noises, and his terror radius is not a heartbeat. His terror radius is 80s synth Stranger Things remix of the Dead by Daylight theme. That's really incredible. It sounds so cool when he's coming close to you, and you just hear this synth start to kick up, and it's like the Dead by Daylight theme remixed with the Stranger Things theme.
That's great.
Like, the music is like, it's a really solid musical touch to like bring in that thing. And the new map is the labs where the actual Demogorgon is from. Like, it's where the research base in the first season. It's that labs.
Okay. It
has the giant like slice in the wall that shows you through to the other dimension. And it does the effect that they have in the show where the other dimension is seeping through. And it's in the TV show, it's referred to as the Upside Down. So it's like this place where it's got like these little particle things in the air, and everything is grey and blue. Like, it's a really cool effect in the show. And in the labs, it's half overtaken by the Upside Down and half normal. So you'll be running through rooms, and you'll run through a room into a corridor, and then the corridor just goes blue, and it's got all this Upside Down effect, like vines and stuff all over the wall.
That's cool.
And I've never played on the map before, so I don't know where anything is.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know where any of the generators are. I don't know where any of the the good spots to hide are. I don't know anything.
That's exciting, though.
It is, and it was cool, and it's the most expensive DLC they've done.
How much was it?
I think this one's $12 for the killer, 2 survivors.
That's still not that bad.
No, it's normally like $7.
Oh,
I think
that's
it's like
cheap.
I think it's $7 for a killer and a survivor usually, and generally speaking, they come with a map. But no, it might be my favorite piece of DLC for the game. Also, I have a passion for the actual series itself too, so that helps.
Right.
If they make a Stranger Things Season 2 DLC, I will be extremely pleased. But yeah, it's fun. It seems great so far.
Yeah.
And then randomly last night I decided I'm just gonna play a couple. I'm gonna clear out a couple of my dailies, and I got the Adept Shape achievement.
Hey, there you go.
Which is Michael. I finally got Michael's Adept achievement playing with the rookies.
Nice.
So apparently I need to focus more on waiting for rookie days and then coming in and cleaning house with my killers to try and get those achievements lined up. But yeah, Dead by Daylight's still great. Sorry, I keep talking about it every week.
It's okay.
Hashtag sorry, not sorry.
New stuff every week. That's exciting.
Yes. Dead by Friday. Join in.
There you go. Nimp, what have you been playing this past week?
All right. So starting out, I played more of the Utawarerumono Zen, or Zan game that came out last week, and I managed to beat it.
Oh.
It is really short.
Okay. That was unexpected.
Yeah. Like I said last time, they really just hit the high milestone story points. So the story just kind of went real fast.
Yeah, the real Cliff's Notes.
Yeah. I think it only took me about 12 hours to beat it altogether.
Nice.
But I've been doing like a ton of extra grinding and stuff in it just because you can unlock different items and scrolls to equip to your characters and all that, and I really liked it. The story isn't anything. I would most definitely not start with this. If you're interested in this series for anything, don't start with this game. Either start with the anime or start with the 2 visual novels on the Vita or the PS4. But yeah, I mean, I've started unlocking music tracks and just playing those in the background now because I really like the music and the art style. I mean, they really fleshed out the art style for the PS4, so it looks really nice. It looks a lot like Okami. How they have the broad brush strokes and stuff like that. Yeah. So it looks really nice. And it was nice to come to a simple game because you're just hitting square to attack. Right. If you feel froggy, you hit triangle. Right. You get something flashy. And after coming from Astro Chain, where you're mitigating 2 characters at the same time and you're trying to get everything to line up and do what you want, it was just really nice to just sit there and hit a button and watch a bunch of guys get blown away. Right. Yeah. So, the next game that I played was Shantae Half Genie Hero. And I am still horrible at platformers.
But you're practicing.
This one, yeah. I'm actually on the final level right now. And originally I just had one complaint until I got to the final level, because my original complaint was the area that you get to before the final area. There's these blocks that you have to jump on, and there's like these eyes in the middle of it. And the direction that the eye is looking is the direction the block will move. Gotcha. So it'll go up, down, left, right, and adjacent to the map. The first one you do, obviously, isn't that hard because it's the first time you run across it. So it's like, oh, you just have this one to do. And then, like, 10 seconds later, all of a sudden, you're jumping between 15 different of these things, and they disappear after a set amount of seconds. Right. So it was really testing how well I could be with a platformer. And I can already tell you before I started the game, I'm not that great. So, but I got through that. I was like, all right, if that's the worst, whatever. And then I got to the final level.
Oh no.
And I haven't even gotten to the platforming stuff for this yet. Right now, your character can change into these different types of animals, and they all have different abilities and different things that they can do. For you to continue on in this level, you have to change into a harpy. And the harpy, if you get her to start moving, she just keeps running. She doesn't stop by herself. She carries her momentum. She can also fly, but it's like Flappy Bird, where you have to keep hitting the button. So you're doing this.
Comment it didn't make you play Flappy Shantae.
Not... I think it's actually worse than Flappy Bird for me anyway. Because what happens is that you have these obstacles that are moving all over the place, and you have to navigate through them. And they all have spikes all the way around them. And if you touch the spike, it's an automatic death. Oh, the floor is lava, so it's an automatic death if you touch that. And I've gotten to this point where I managed to get through like this whole Rube Goldberg machine, and I'm stuck on this last part because there's these 2 blocks that are rotating clockwise or counterclockwise on the map, and you have just enough room in between to fit your character. And the harpy is unwieldy. Like I said, it carries momentum, and so you're trying to move in between these 2 blocks, and it never fails that I either get too low and touch the lava and die, or the block stops sooner than I think it's going to before it shifts up so I can get past it, and then I just run right into that block.
Right.
So I had to stop because I finally died, and then it restarted me to the beginning of that level's checkpoint. Ugh. I was not having
I don't blame you.
But besides that, though, I mean, I still really like the game. I've got almost all the items. Oh, that was the other thing too, because I started unlocking achievements for the game, and so I was just kind of I was kind of looking up. I was like, all right, what else do I have to do? Because I pretty much have everything unlocked. And then it mentioned something about hard mode, and I instantly closed the window because that is not happening. I don't care. But I mean, you're doing all kinds of fun, dumb stuff. Like I just gave a blobfish grandmother a pink trucker hat that says "Hot Granny" on it. Great. And she was really happy about it.
Yeah.
And then I got my heart piece and I carried on. So
just a normal day.
Yeah.
That just makes me think of Vegeta's Batman shirt.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yes, Mondo cool.
So all I'll keep trying Shantae. I'll get it eventually because it took me a while to even get to this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just got to get the timing done and everything. It's just my patience today was not having it.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing with with the platformer in general, isn't it? It's like you'll take 2 weeks off, come back and clear it first try, and wonder what the big fuss was about.
Right.
That's what I'm hoping. Or I'll come back 2 weeks later and still can't beat the stupid thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not hard. It's just you don't use that harpy that much. So this is my first time really using it. So I haven't gotten used to how it's carrying the momentum and how it moves and all this dumb crap. It's just a pain right now. Next game that I played was Demon Gaze 2 on the Vita.
Everything you in Boston play sounds like animes.
I mean,
kind of.
Yeah. Mostly.
This is all of my backlog stuff still, so...
Oh, right there with you, brother.
Yeah. So this is a first-person dungeon crawler, much in the vein of Etrian Odyssey, where you have a map that you're filling out, and you've got traps and all this other fun stuff that you're trying to avoid and marking on your map. But in this game, and in the first one that they had, you are fighting these demons as bosses, and once you defeat them, you capture them, and then they will join you. The last demon that I fought was Lupus. Yeah. And I saved... So I actually looked at my save file, too. I haven't touched this game since December of 2017. And I started it again earlier this week. Remembered how to get into that boss fight. Fought the boss. And a half hour later, kind of remembered why I stopped playing it for a brief moment. Because this game is hard.
Yeah. Those first-person dungeon crawlers are usually really hard. Which,
I mean, the first one I loved. The final boss in that one kind of sucked and was kind of a cheat. And if you didn't get its attack at the, doing the same attack rotation, you were kind of screwed.
Oh, boy.
So this one was more... There's no good way for you to heal your party members while you're in battle or out in the dungeon. Because your healers are only doing like 69 HP heals. And you don't have a whole lot of HP. I think right now the highest I have is like 289 or something like that. And they're level 16. And these don't break. I don't think they break past 999. But you're not healing for a whole lot. The items that you get that can heal for a whole lot are just single unit heal items. Which the problem is, bosses tend to hit your whole line, so a single heal item's kind of a waste at this point, because as soon as you heal them up, they're going to get hit again and knock them back down, and you're just in an endless healing cycle.
Right.
Yep.
Level grinding doesn't work in this game, because everything kind of grinds up with you.
Have you tried petrifying the main character?
No. Honestly, I don't even know if you can in this one. But... Yeah, so I jumped back into that, fought the boss, and that boss took me about a good half hour before I finally got her nailed down to what I needed, what I needed to do to keep going. And I beat her, and I think that was the reason why I stopped playing, a couple years back, was because I just couldn't make headway against her no matter what I did. And the crappy thing is that every time you go back to the hotel that you're at, the rest, they'll charge you. But the rate keeps going up every time you go back to rest.
Oh, rough.
So yeah, and I had no money at that point in time.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a pain. But that was also kind of why I wanted to pick it up and try it out. Because like I said, I really liked the first one. The first one wasn't as bad as this one. It seems like this one, they kind of bumped it up because people wanted it more hardcore. And I hope they're happy, because it is.
You got it.
I'm gonna try to keep playing. I wanted to play more of it this week, but I just got stupid busy, so I haven't had a whole lot of time to do much of anything. But I did beat her, started up going into the next dungeon, got a little lost, a little turned around, warped back up, and realized that I went into a dungeon I should not have been in yet.
Oh.
But I was able to hold my own, so I was doing all right.
Nice.
Games. So the last game that I played is Control.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just finished getting the Prism at the Black Quarry.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So that's,
I was just
that's
like,
all-
God, is that
yeah.
one of the guns' names? Because I don't remember.
No.
I got it. Okay.
So, and that's all I'll say about location
Yeah,
and stuff.
you're quite
like
a
that.
ways through. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm getting there. Something clicked with me where I started playing this game being pretty strategic,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
and now I'm just kind of running in there and shooting things and not really
Throwing
caring
park
anymore.
benches.
Yeah, and I don't know what made the switch, because I mean, the enemies are getting a lot harder.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
I
a
think-
lot. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think it's one of those games where when you start, you feel weak. Like you do, like you take a few hits and you're dead. It's when you start embracing the powers and just exactly what you can do with all of the
You
different
upgrade your
powers.
skill tree a lot more.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you're just like, I don't care. I'm gonna run directly between these 7 people and just start throwing rocks and fountains and
Yep.
statues all over everybody.
Well,
Yep.
and I think that started clicking with me when I got the Seize ability.
Yeah.
Because I would have people run at me, I would get their health down, and then I would seize them, and then I would see which way they were running. It's like, okay, I've got something over there and something over here. And there's this big thing in the middle, so I'm going to work on that while the 2 peons are off doing their thing until I
Yeah.
need to get more.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm really liking how this is going.
Yeah.
I've already got, I think I have all the achievements for collecting everything. What was it, the
Yep.
120 or whatever?
Yeah, they're pretty easy. I think there's
Yeah.
like 300 something collectibles, so like it's super easy to get
I've
everything.
got quite a bit because my wife came in here Friday when I was playing and I was just reading through them.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, "What are you doing?" And
Oh,
I'm like, "Just
just
reading."
Mhm.
And then I was like, "You want to watch this jacked up puppet show that I've got?"
That's right. Uncle Mr. Bones.
Yes.
Yes. What the quarry might be, for the longest time, it was one of my favorite visual locations in that game.
Mm-hmm.
Not visual set pieces, just visual locations. Like I love the sky in that area. It's just something absolutely
And
phenomenal.
it's huge
as well.
too.
Well, and there's also that city that's apparently in the far off distance too, which I didn't know what that was, and I happened to pick up something and read about it. I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Oh.
So
Yeah. Yep.
yeah. And I also got the audio tape about the rangers who were exploring, trying to get to the city.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And they started asking them about the mermaid.
Yep.
Yep.
That was a good one.
But I will also say though too that I've started getting those alerts, the bureau alerts,
Yeah.
and those are difficult. I think
Yes.
I've completed. I know I for sure have done one of them. I think I might have completed 2 out of like the 6 or 10 that I've tried,
Yep.
because these guys just like bum rush you and you've
Mhm.
got nowhere to go.
Yep.
Yeah. I had the best luck with the. I think they call them escort, but they're not really escort ones. It's just like protect these 2.
With the personal
people.
protection ones.
Yeah, personnel protection. Yeah. Those ones were pretty easy because you have 2 other people fighting with you.
Well, and there was one in the mailroom that I was trying to help a squad or something. I didn't really read what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
All I knew was that all of a sudden I had like 4 or 5 people helping me.
Yep.
But even then, though, I mean, we got wiped out. I
Yep.
think I accidentally killed the last guy because he got in the way when I was throwing something, and I think that's what ended the
Yeah,
mission.
you gotta get out of the way, guys. I'm throwing a tree.
Yeah,
Yep.
especially at that really big thing that was coming at us. It's like, I don't know what you think you were doing, but
Yeah.
Yep. The game should have been into it by now, but if you can, always go for the big orange balls first.
Yeah, the healing ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Those things are terrible. Until you can take them over, and then they're really good.
Yes.
and those balls I hate.
Yeah.
My God. Yeah. So anyway, I've got a bunch of I'm keeping track of a bunch of things that I've got questions on, I guess. That
Spoiler
I'm waiting
questions
to,
about?
yeah, just
Are
waiting
you
to
gonna
see what the
see-
game does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And there's like a bunch of things too that I've already got. Like I've got a list of theories of what I think is going on,
Right.
and so far I have a pretty decent idea,
Hmm.
Mhm.
and everything's kind of checking out with it. But I'm waiting for that final twist just to see what happens.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm really liking the game. Can't play it when I'm tired though. It's too easy to make stupid mistakes.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
But that's all I've been playing. So on to Boston.
So Apple Arcade came out this week.
Yes, tell me about your 1,000 mobile games that you tweeted about this week.
I'm really impressed because their initial press release was like, we're going to release 100 high quality mobile games. I was like, okay, cool. Like, sure, you're going to release a lot of stuff. Day one, there was 75 games, and every day there have been a couple more coming out. And I think the most impressive thing is they're not really games that people think about when they think about mobile games. They're not gacha games. If your game is on Apple Arcade, it cannot have microtransactions. So it's just, you're going to download this game and here it is. I downloaded, I think, 40 games so far, just like going through the list and being like, yep, that looks great, I know who makes that one, a new Frogger game, cool, let's download that too. So I'm not going to talk about all of them. I'm going to talk about some of the highlights I've played so far. Two quick notes before I start. Number one, all of the games so far I've played have achievements, which is really weird because up until last week, I would have told you that Game Center and iOS Achievements was an abandoned system.
I would have too, because they abandoned that while I was using my iPhone.
Yeah, and like nothing has used any of... Some games will use Game Center as...
the friend list populator?
No, as a syncing service. So you can sync your progress on a game between multiple devices, but that's really been it. Other thing too is... You need to download iOS 13 to get Apple Arcade. iOS 13 also introduces Bluetooth syncing support for the PS4 and Xbox One controllers. Remember, you need to have an S or later Xbox One controller. The previous ones don't have Bluetooth. That was super easy to set up. You just start your controller in pairing mode. It shows up on your phone as either a DualShock 4 or an Xbox controller. You tap on it, and it works. And that's great.
That's good.
It also, I fired up, I connected my Xbox One controller, I was playing around with some games, and then I fired up Final Fantasy V, because that has MiFi support. Xbox One controller worked in that too, which
that's handy.
Cool.
I'm very happy with. So let's run through in no real order here a bunch of highlights so far. Sayonara Wild Hearts, that it's also out on Switch and PC. It's coming out to PS4 and Xbox One soon. Some combination of that. It's res for pop music.
Interesting.
It's really good. Levels are really short. They seem like they're telling a pretty cool story. I would like to try it with controller because it feels okay using the touchscreen, but it's a lot of... In the first couple levels, it's a lot of going left to right on sort of a path. And unlike a lot of mobile games, when you swipe left or right, it doesn't go from like one lane to another. You're supposed to drag your finger across the screen. It feels fine, but I'm not using like an iPad or a giant phablet, so it's a little rough. Mini Motorways. This is the sequel to Mini Metro, which is a game I unfortunately never played. It's a cool puzzle game where you're managing the roads and highways of a little town, basically.
Is this it's from the same company who did the mini plane thing, where you were managing the plane?
No,
terminal?
that was the company who was doing Tiny Tower.
Okay.
I think their only other game was Mini Metro, but I don't remember. But it's basically like an orange building will spawn and a series of orange houses will spawn. You have to connect all of the orange houses to the entrance of the orange building. And then red and blue and pink and all sorts of different colors start spawning. I haven't played a ton of that, mostly because the tutorial was really long. But it seems pretty cool, and my wife has been playing it a lot. Great part about Apple Arcade is it applies to your family account, so you can one $5 a month charge can apply to up to 5 people. So
that's helpful.
That's really great.
Looks like the young one already has a start. Now you just need to get the young one an iPod Touch.
Yeah, they still make those? I don't know.
Oh, dude, I'm so far out of the Apple ecosystem. Yeah. Like it's wine at this point.
I don't know. I played another game called Dear Reader that I want to spend more time with. It's basically you're organizing text snippets on a page, and it starts out with Pride and Prejudice. So like you sort of know where the text fits in the conversations that are happening, but I haven't spent enough time with that to say if it's good or not. Exit the Gungeon.
Yep, I was waiting for this one.
Exit the Gungeon. I really need to play with a controller, like very badly. So number one, have you guys heard the Enter the Gungeon theme song?
Nope.
Yes.
Okay, so Enter the Gungeon. It's a very they extend the enter like really long. The Gungeon. They just replace enter with exit this time, so it's the same theme song, but it's just Exit the Gungeon, which is really great. Story-wise, it actually takes part after the ending of Enter the Gungeon. So, this isn't a spoiler for Enter the Gungeon, but each one of your characters has made a mistake in their past in Enter the Gungeon. Their whole thing is they want to create the gun that destroys the past. It's actually a gun with like a barrel that curves back towards you.
Oh,
yeah, it's great. So once in each one of those characters, when you go to their past and you make the right choice, the choice that they didn't make, you fix their time, and because of a time paradox, the Gungeon disappears. Exit the Gungeon takes place right after that, where they were like, cool, you just destroyed the Gungeon, which means it's falling apart, which means you need to get the hell out.
Yep.
And instead of it being a top-down game like Enter the Gungeon was, Exit the Gungeon is a 2D side-scroller. But
it looks a little bit like Downwell.
A little bit, yeah. But what's so funny is they even keep the jumping up and down in universe. Sir Manuel is your tutorial guy in Enter the Gungeon, and he's back. I won't spoil it. He's back in a different form in this game because of some stuff you do in Enter the Gungeon. And he is very much like Fez, where you turn the world and everyone's like, oh my god, 3 dimensions. He is amazed at you being able to dodge roll ascending and descending, which is the way you jump and you jump down.
Of course.
Which is really great. So it feels really true to Enter the Gungeon. You get the game's most powerful gun when you start off in the tutorial, which hilariously is the pea shooter, which is famous for being hot garbage in Enter the Gungeon. So it feels right in sort of the Gungeon universe. I haven't played a lot of it because playing it with touch controls doesn't feel very good. It does, thankfully. I synced my PS4 controller and I was playing with that for a little bit to get through the tutorial. It had the PlayStation button icons in there, so it's my hope that after the exclusivity period, it will come out on other stuff, because that'll be where I'm playing it.
I was gonna say, when does this come full circle where you decide that you need to start streaming this on a TV?
If I could, that would be great.
You just need to get an Apple TV, and then you can stream from your iPhone devices to your Apple TV.
It probably would, but there's no way in hell I'm buying an Apple TV. I can't even afford my phone, nevertheless, anymore. I played a game called The Pinball Wizard. It is a screen-by-screen pinball game where you are playing as a wizard, but your character, the wizard, is the ball. So you're flinging your wizard around the screen. I don't know about this one yet. I need to spend more time. It felt really unfair to start, and then when I died, it was like, cool, that's great. Here's all the experience you just got. We're going to level you up a bunch, and now the game is suddenly much easier. And it's like, cool, you could have explained any of that at the
Sounds
beginning.
like a roguelike to me.
It very much feels like it, so I want to spend a little bit more time with it, but I'm for some reason I'm not clicking with it at the beginning, but I need to spend more time with it before I can say whether or not it's great. ChuChu Rocket Universe.
Get away from me.
The biggest compliment I can pay it is that it feels like a ChuChu Rocket game. It feels very much like the game we played on Dreamcast. There are some...
You played on Dreamcast. Thank you very much.
Everyone should have played ChuChu Rocket. It's really great. There are some levels now where you can spin them around, so it's almost like Mario Galaxy, where you're going around a planet. That stuff feels pretty great.
Terrifying.
Yeah, it's pretty great. I haven't put too much time into it, but in me checking out the first world, it's sort of like, yeah, cool. All right, that's ChuChu Rocket. I'll get back to you later when I feel like playing something a little bit more puzzly. And lastly, the game I will wholeheartedly recommend, and probably one of my favorite mobile games of a long time, is a game called Assemble with Care. I believe it's made by the Monument Valley team.
The screenshots you posted this was like, okay, apparently I need to play this game.
Yeah.
It reminded me of the Japanese games that you played on.
Yep.
Google Play Store.
Whatever that game was called, reminds me a lot about it. So the game starts off and you're a repairwoman that is traveling from town to town, just sort of taking up odd jobs, staying for a little bit of time, and then moving off to another town to take on more jobs. And there are 13 levels, I think. And basically it starts off with a very, very well-written and very well voice-acted couple of screens telling you a little bit about her history and her interacting with people in the town. And then they will hand you an item and say, like, hey, can you fix this watch for me? Can you fix this game console or this record player for me? And then she opens up her toolbox and you start fixing this thing. And it's hard to describe how cool this feels, like flipping over this item, seeing the screws on the bottom, dragging the screwdriver to it, and then like twisting on the screen to pull out the screw, and like doing that a couple times, and then pulling off the bottom of this thing and seeing all the electronic guts in there and saying, okay, these couple of pieces are bad, so I needed to disconnect the wiring, unscrew these pieces, pull them off, replace them, and then like figure out how all that stuff comes out, repair the stuff, and then figure out how it all goes back together correctly. And it, like Moon said, it really feels like that game we were playing that I never remember the name of. In a way that it feels good to take the stuff apart, figure it all out, put it back together, and then you get some cool storyline stuff after it, and then you kind of progress into more and more difficult stuff as you go through. It's probably 2 hours, I would say, but it really wastes no time, and it really doesn't do anything wrong, and the story it tells is really great. And I think the credits has like 5 people in it, 6 people in it, like not including the voice actors. So
hopefully they got a nice big payday for being an Apple Arcade.
So that's the thing that's the thing I'm hoping, because we keep hearing from people going on the Epic Game Store and Game Pass saying like, look, it's a no-brainer for me to go on here because it funds this game, guaranteed, and maybe a little bit of our next game before we've even made a sale.
Yeah.
So that exclusivity or that program makes a lot of sense. I'm sincerely hoping that this does what those programs have done for iOS. I just hope that the exclusivity window is short because I don't like exclusive games, especially when it comes to mobile stuff. I want this stuff to come out on both iOS and Android. And if it's a 6-month period, so you can get your game guaranteed funding, great. I will keep a list of things to say, I loved this when it came out on Apple Arcade. It's now on Android. You need to go play this thing. So those are the games I've tried. I've tried a couple of other games, but I didn't want to talk about 30 games here this week. So I'll be talking about them probably for the next couple of weeks about hopping in and trying some stuff. But so far it seems great. It's only going to be $5 a month. The first month is free, so if you just want to try it and play Assemble with Care, you should do that. And then just cancel it before the month is up.
I still haven't gone all the way through those games. Like, I've got the symbols on the phone. Like, there's so many levels. Like, okay,
yeah,
how do I put together this vacuum cleaner?
Right. And I think that's one thing that Assemble with Care does a lot better is that the pieces you're interacting with are much, much bigger, because part of my problem with that game was you have like this little itty bitty hose and you have to like try and drag it and drop it
exactly
somewhere.
Which one it goes to.
Yeah, like which hole does this? Oh, okay, good. It's snapped in. Okay, cool.
But they don't have a reference photo. Is my biggest concern with those games. Like, you get a reference image when you first load it up. It's like, here is the item. Now that image is gone.
And that's the cool part about this game is it's stuff like pocket watches and like a campfire burner. It's like all stuff we sort of know what it looks like, and there's no time limit. There's no punishment if you screw up.
Dude, I know what a vacuum cleaner looks like.
Sure.
I don't know what a Japanese vacuum cleaner looks like.
That's right.
Because they be crazy.
Yeah. Well, and I think,
but how many people do you know take pictures before they start tearing stuff apart?
Not enough people.
Yes.
Well, and
Not enough people.
I think one thing that this game does really well is if you drag something over the right slot, it'll highlight that slot in white. So it's sort of like you figured out, unless it's like the watch, you're putting gears together, so it's sort of saying like it'll fit in any of these 4 slots, but you got to get them in the right place to make the gears turn. That's about it.
Is it possible for you to put something back together and then realize that you have a piece that still isn't in there?
I did that like 2 or 3 times where it's like, all right, I put it back together. Why isn't it working? Wait, I have 2 extra screws. Oh, no.
Yeah.
So it's like, tear this back apart. So, it's very true to life.
Theory, where it's like, oh, wait, I've got this dowel and this screw.
Right.
It can't
my
be that
cabinet is built.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So it can't be that true to life unless you're running around the house looking for a tiny spring that shut off somewhere.
Right. Yeah. Thankfully, thankfully, nothing like that. It's not that true to life. But
that's the next game, Spring Simulator.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, that's Assemble with Care. That so far has been the outstanding game that I've been playing so far. I played a more Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Once I got past the tutorial opening stuff, I'm really enjoying it. I am surprised at how much the game has swung away from fighting people. You fought a lot of people in the second game. I've fought maybe 3 or 4 groups of people in the almost 20 hours I've been playing this thing. So it's very much about doing side quests and exploring the open world and finding and doing tombs and stuff like that. Like, you're really not fighting people, which I think is really great.
How many T-Rexes have you fought?
Sadly, none so far, but I have not gotten this game spoiled for me, so maybe one in the future. I don't know.
Well, it's an abandoned island, or rather a desert island, or wherever it is, miles away from anywhere. The fact that you've only fought groups of 3 people makes me think velociraptors are in your future.
That'd be cool. I mean, I have like an AK-47, so like you're only going to use the bow in this game because that's the weapon you're going to use. But
because you need those skins for crafting. And...
That's right. Thankfully, the one thing they did, and I don't remember if they did this in the second one, there are animal corpses around that have already been killed, probably by some predator or whatever. You can skin those. So like I haven't really needed to hunt anything yet, which is cool because that could be pretty frustrating in the first 2 games. The only criticism I have of this game so far is that it's really big. Like, I walked into this hidden city, and I'm exploring this area, and it's like, okay, cool. This is pretty big. I'm seeing a pretty good amount of this. That was a quarter of the city. Like, it's monstrously huge, and I think it's gotten to the point where some of this stuff is a little too big, and I'm really worried what's going to happen if they make a next game and make that even bigger.
Mm-hmm.
That might be the point where I say, like, I don't know, like it's you're getting a little too large at this point. And the only other downside is the story's not great so far, but it's buoyed by Laura and Jonah spending a lot of time together. Jonah's that big guy that's sort of always been with Laura since the first reboot game. It's basically the two of you exploring this island, which I liked that in Gears 5 with Kate and Del, and I really like it here in Shadow of the Tomb Raider. But the rest of the stuff is like, oh my god, Trinity's trying to get this relic. I gotta race against Trinity to get it before they do. And it's like, cool, I played the other ones. Like, I know how this goes. Trinity's bad. We're racing against them. I got it. So, but so far I'm really enjoying it. Boy, that HDR looks really good. There's a lot of like underwater stuff with just the light, the rays of light coming in on the top. It's just like, yeah, man, HDR looks really good. But lastly this week, Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening came out. And I've played a lot of it. Let's get the bad out of the way first. The frame rate is really bad. Really bad. In dungeons, it's really good. 60 frames, rock solid.
So it's just the open world.
It's the open world. I can understand some areas where there's a lot of enemies and there's just a lot of stuff happening on screen. That's fine. It's also the open world when you transition from one section to another and the text of the area, like Mabe Village, comes up, the frame rate tanks. That text goes away, frame rate shoots right back up. So it's
interesting.
It's one of those things where, like, okay, I don't understand this, but I get it. So that aside, Link's Awakening is really great. It's probably the cutest game of 2019. It looks incredible. I'm playing it...
Whoa.
Yes.
You said it's the cutest game of 2019.
Yes.
You know the other game that came out this week on Switch, don't you?
No. Untitled Goose Game?
Yes.
It's not the cutest game starring an a-hole goose. Like,
okay.
It's not the third Hitman game starring a goose. I really like the graphical style they've went with. It almost looks kind of like claymation-ish, but a lot more smoothed over. The tilt shift effect that they have on the graphics is really, really cool looking. And I think the biggest thing I can pay it as a compliment is they literally... It's a 1-for-1 remake of the original Link's Awakening. Down to where enemies are, rocks are, like, I'm undigging shells out of the ground where they should be, like, nothing has been moved. And that's... the only thing they've done is they've added stuff. And they've added just a little bit of stuff. And I think that's great because Link's Awakening has always been my favorite Zelda game. And part of the reason is that it is a very small overworld that is very densely packed. Which they had to do because it was an original Game Boy game. They have recreated that really well. The remix music is really great. His little pitter patter when he does the dash move is really great. Like, yeah, just this little. All the sound effects are perfect, and
I saw the violin thing that you retweeted.
Yeah, picking up each one of those, like the new versions of The Windfish's song is really great because now instead of a chiptune approximation of a violin, it's just no. We brought in like a violinist. Like they played it. Here's the violin music. It's really, really good. I never played Link's Awakening DX, the Game Boy Color one.
Yeah.
So I never did the Color Dungeon. I just did that earlier today. That was pretty good. That was pretty fun, and it was nice to see, like, oh, every time you hit the final boss, his shell changes to another color. That was probably really cool on the Game Boy Color. But it's nice to see they've taken all that stuff forward here. The one thing they did add is a new NPC who will help you build dungeons of your own.
Yeah, I've seen little bits of this. The build your own dungeon thing.
Yeah. It's not great.
Yeah, that seems to be the
about
consensus.
what I heard. Yeah.
The real bummer of it is it's a really cool idea, and it sort of brought me back to like Dragon Quest IX, where it's like, oh, these random dungeons you're finding. The pieces for the dungeon are all made out of the tile set of dungeons you've already finished. So the real bummer is you're just going back through rooms you've already done before because you've already finished 4 or 5 dungeons. So the real bummer is that there doesn't appear to be, unless I haven't found any, like a secret tile set or something, because I'm still not done. I'm probably 3/4 of the way through. You're just going through old dungeon stuff. You're just sort of smushing them all together, and that's kind of a bummer, as opposed to here's some new puzzles, here's some new tile sets, stuff like that. So that's kind of a letdown, but thankfully you don't really need to do it for any reason I can see. I think there might be a seashell that comes out of it, but as opposed to there were 20 or 25 in the original game, there's now 50, so you have more than enough to get the sword upgrade. I think there isn't a lot to talk about with Link's Awakening because they remade Link's Awakening and they didn't screw up anything that's good. Like, you still get the Yoshi doll from the Crane game, and you start the trading game that goes throughout the whole game. Like,
was this the first Zelda that had that in it?
I believe so.
I can't think of any other things.
It came out.
I know it was in Ocarina, but obviously Ocarina was much later than this.
Yeah, Minish Cap had one that was really good, where you're trading puzzle pieces, but that was on Game Boy Advance. This game, Link's Awakening, started as them attempting to remake Link to the Past for the Game Boy, and then found out they couldn't, and just made a brand new game. So I don't think there was a trading game in Link's Awakening. Or Link to the Past, I'm sorry. I can't remember one. But yeah, it's still a lot of fun, where it's like, cool, you gave this crocodile a canned dog food, and he gave you some bananas. It's like, cool, okay, that makes sense.
How many items have you stolen from the shopkeeper?
0. I never steal. I don't want to be called thief throughout the rest of the game, which this game still does, which is really great. I worked hard cutting grass to get the 980 rupees for the bow and arrow. But yeah, Link's Awakening is still a really great game, and I'm happy they didn't mess with it, because the number of people that are experiencing it for the first time is really great, and they're experiencing basically the game that I have loved for the last 25 years, just with a new coat of paint on it.
Yep.
I think that's sort of the most you can ask for with a remake. I do hope that they patch something to fix the frame rate issues. I know it doesn't bother a lot of people, and it's not giving me a headache or anything, so it's not impossible. I just also always assume that Nintendo will never patch their games, so...
Well, it's Nintendo, so yes.
Yeah, like, that might be a little unfair in modern day, but it's not Smash, so I'm sort of assuming it won't see a patch.
Yep.
So, I don't know. But even with the frame rate issues, I would still really recommend it. I think it's a fantastic game, and I think they've done a really great job on it, and it's just really fun to play. It's the only thing I have been playing the majority of this week. And thankfully my kid also likes it, because it's bright and shiny and cute. So
Say that Link amiibo looks pretty sweet too.
that Link amiibo is very cute. I think I have it back there. It's like that adorable fierce face. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So yeah, go if you have played Link's Awakening before and you like it. I wholeheartedly recommend this. If you like 2D Zelda games, I think this is the best one, at least until they remake Minish Cap. So go play it. It is really great. And that's all I've been playing this week. So let's take a break.
Yep. Oh, go in the bathroom.
Moon, before you go, I just had the horrific realization as we were recording this first segment. I don't think my audio was working for the We World Glyca videos.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Have fun editing that.
Yeah. Well, the good part is, our MP3 that comes out just goes to YouTube as a video, so we'll probably rely on that for this week.
I just fully enjoy Moons. It doesn't sound like my problem.
Yeah. Let me, while we're sitting here chatting, let me open up the archives from those videos and find out. This is the one from today. You can... Nope. Did not work at all.
They didn't. Awesome.
Great. Great. See, the real hard part is I wish I had more time, because if I did, I could take the audio from the episode and replace the audio from the video with that in Premiere, but that is a lot of time. I'll try and do that tonight for anyone that's watching, but that's a bummer. XSplit updated, and it has never done this before. It has never changed my inputs before, and I am super not happy that happened.
I wonder if it updated or something too, because mine did that last week.
Yeah.
Where I had to switch it back to this mic instead of the...
Yeah, it's probably a Windows update too. I don't know. I'm not really feeling very positively about XSplit as time goes on. It seems like they have not been making huge strides on making XSplit easier to use or more lightweight. Like it's very, very CPU intensive, and I think that is really frustrating as time goes on. Like, I have 32 gigs of RAM in this machine, and I have a really very beefy processor, so it should not be...
You're peaking on performance.
Yeah, like, it shouldn't be choking on this stuff. Hey, there's Dwight. That's a long tail.
Yeah, down there.
I feel like his tail is growing before the rest of him.
It's just like ears, he'll have to grow into it.
Yeah, exactly.
Be quiet.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
The audio did not work on those videos.
Awesome.
Great. Thanks, XSplit. I was just telling the nymph that I'm not very happy with XSplit lately, especially for a product I pay a considerable amount of money for every year. And it's stuff like this that's really frustrating.
Yep.
Grumble, grumble, grumble.
Understandably so.
Yeah.
Hey, Giant Tiger.
Did you have the show notes?
I always forget to share them. 1 second.
Ah, you're fine.
Hello.
There you go. Should have it now. He's so big, Moon.
Yeah.
We were talking about how big his tail is.
Yeah, his tail seems very long.
Uh-huh. Like, he just keeps getting bigger, and he's literally only just starting to look like he might be losing some of the cat face or the kitten face.
Right.
Like, he still has a kitten face majority of the time.
Every once in a while you see the panther within.
Yes.
Alright, let me know when you guys are ready, because we have quite a few releases here to talk about.
2 seconds.
I want to get this show on the road. And also, I'm hungry.
Yeah, it's like 90 degrees in here, too.
It's very hot here today. I think it's 95 today.
All right, I'm good.
So it's gonna rain right now. 50% chance.
So it was raining over here earlier.
We're scheduled to get our rain tonight into tomorrow, so
Nice.
the humidity level is just skyrocketing at the moment.
That's the worst.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Dude, Saturday morning, I was up at 6 a.m., went outside to take the dogs out, and it was stupid humid outside.
Mm-hmm.
What is this crap? It's almost October.
Yeah, it's 6 in the morning. Stop it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's talk releases for the week of September 22nd, 2019. Contra Hardcore comes out on PC, Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. The demo of this came out recently, and it has gotten about well received as I thought it would be based on when it was announced. So,
Yep.
not really a Contra game for anyone that is curious about it. So, maybe you don't need to bother. The Surge 2 comes out PC, PS4, and Xbox One.
Oh, now sounds like a good time to start playing The Surge.
Yeah, Surge 2 looks pretty cool. I feel like I totally missed the first one until the Surge 2 got announced, and people were like, yeah, oh, awesome, a sequel to Surge. The first one was great. And I was like, oh.
The
okay.
Surge is one of those games that it's the argument that the B tier game is not dead.
Right.
They're just harder to find.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
I beat the first boss and realized I did not have time for this game.
Yeah. Yeah, Surge 2 looks pretty cool. I watched someone play, maybe it was Giant Bomb, play a little bit of it, and that looks pretty cool. Looks like a cool game. Mario Kart Tour comes out on iOS and Android.
Sure.
Very curious to see. I will download that and I will try it out. Very curious to see what the heck that is. It would be nice if it's just a Mario Kart game on mobile. That would be okay.
Based on how they've done their mobile games recently, I would say no. No, thank you.
Yeah, probably not. Darksiders 2 Definitive Edition comes out on the Switch.
I almost swore, but I maintained my composure.
That's probably the last time I will be talking about the Definitive Edition.
I will throw something at you.
Yeah, because that title is still great and terrible at the same time. Code Vein comes out on PC, PS4, and Xbox One. The more people that are playing the demo of that, and the more people that are talking a lot of great stuff about it. So I'm very curious to see how it gets received here on release. I don't have time for it, but I'd like to. Dragon Quest 1, 2, and 3 all come out on the Switch. Those are all coming out. I think they'll come out at the same time this next week. So those are brand new ports of the first 3 games. So I'm thinking about picking up the first one because everything I've seen has said it's like 8 to 10 hours. It's a pretty short one.
Yeah.
And I've never played it, so now's the time. I think the first one's like $5. It's pretty cheap. So Dragon Quest XI S Echoes of an Elusive Age Definitive Edition comes out on the Switch. That's a really great JRPG. You don't need to have played any of the other Dragon Quest games. If you've never played a JRPG before, that's a really great place to start. It is very beginner friendly and it's very good. And it's very long too, so you get a lot of bang for your buck. FIFA 20 comes out PC, Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. I don't. Are you gonna pick
So they dropped a new trailer for this game.
Okay.
It has basically like indoor football in it now, like
Oh,
the
cool.
mini football with like the very small pitches,
Yeah.
walls and fences, like miniature sized fields, and it's like 2v2, 3v3, 4v4, 5v5 kind of setup
That's pretty cool.
with customizable avatars.
Oh no.
My wife saw the trailer.
Uh-oh.
Suddenly she's interested. It has a very big FIFA Street vibe to it.
Cool.
which for those of you who didn't play FIFA Street, aka anybody in America, FIFA Street was essentially NBA Street for FIFA. Yeah. So flashy moves, big specials, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It has the feel of FIFA Street without any of the huge over-the-top, like, I'm going to do triple backflip and overhead kick this into
trails.
The goal. Yes.
Yeah.
So this is interesting, but it's also another FIFA game that has been released with, I hate to say it, but the indoor like football matches and stuff like that. That was in FIFA like 10.
Oh, okay.
And it's another one of those things that slowly made its way out of the game, and then slowly made its way back into the game.
Long enough for them to say, "You've been asking forever, and for the first time ever, it's coming in the game." It's like, wait a minute.
Brand new feature.
Yep.
Well, the best part is, all you guys have to do is wait a month, and it'll be $20. So
that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Wait until January, and it's cheap.
Yeah, it has a campaign mode for the Street version specifically as well. So.
Oh no, that's dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ori and the Blind Forest is coming out on Switch. There's a demo available now. Go play it. It's really good.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great Metroidvania. It's not too long. It's not too difficult, except for the flooding parts. Those are hard. But there's only
just the right temperature.
Yeah. It's really great. And last but not least, Moonpier's wife's 2019 Game of the Year, Tropico 6, comes out for PS4 and Xbox One.
Yep.
Tropico games are really great.
If I start speaking in a slightly racist Southern American accent next week and refer to everyone as El Presidente, that's just because my wife has beat it into me, so sorry about that.
Yeah, that's okay. Those games are really great.
Yes, they are.
Let's move on to news stories. Night School Studio has finally announced the release date for their second game, After Party. This is the Oxenfree developers. It is coming out October 29th. Yeah. It's coming out on October 29th on PC and Mac on the Epic Game Store, PS4, and Xbox One. Xbox One, day and date, will have Game Pass. So
yep.
I am super pumped that I don't have to pay for another game.
There's another game that I would have probably picked up day one.
Yep. If anyone doesn't remember, we talked about this a while ago when it was announced. Basically, you get sent to hell and you need to outdrink the devil.
Yep.
And that's all I have really paid attention to, because that's all I really need. It's like Oxenfree devs, outdrink the devil. It's like, okay, cool. I'm with you wherever this story goes.
Yep. Match made in heaven.
Yeah. Or hell. Next news story, Void Bastards developers have announced a new piece of paid DLC and some challenges. They announced the Tidy Cleaning... Sorry. The paid DLC is called Bang Tidy, which is great. They introduced the Tidy Cleaning Corporation, which means there's a new ship type and a new enemy type. If anyone hasn't played Void Bastards, it's basically like every corporation has their type of ship. Like, this one might have a lot of food in it, this one might have a lot of ammo, that sort of stuff. There's a new weapon, and there's also something they're calling Tidy Vans that they say suck out the oxygen in an area. And I don't know what that means, but that sounds pretty terrifying. Apparently, if you play this on Game Pass, you have the DLC already. You don't need to purchase it. I have not yet fired it up to find out, but if not, it's only $5. So that's pretty great. And the other workplace challenges pack they're coming out with is new areas and a bunch of challenges, and you can modify with additional difficulty parameters. So if you thought Void Bastards was somehow not hard enough, you monster, you can make it way harder now. You actual monster.
Yes.
And if you haven't played Void Bastards, you really should. It's really great. And last news story, Elite Dangerous's long time coming tutorial finally landed in the game this past week.
Yep. Huge update.
A bunch of other stuff, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of other stuff that I don't understand. Like some microtransaction currency stuff that seems pretty interesting.
Yeah. So they added I think they're calling it the ARX currency.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically your Microsoft points, whatever.
You can earn
but-
them through gameplay, though.
Correct.
Right?
The change now is that every week you can earn up to 400 of those.
Okay.
So if you keep playing, you don't have to actually spend money to buy any of the cosmetic stuff.
Nice.
I looked at the store too. They also changed it because the store used to be, at least on the Xbox, and I would assume on the PlayStation and on PC as well. Every time you tried to go to the store, it would open up a web browser. It wouldn't be in game.
Right.
So they changed that now so that it's all in game now.
Nice.
Because it was real janky on the Xbox.
None of the consoles have good browsers.
No.
Yeah.
So with doing that and being able to add, or being able to get the 400 arcs a week, I looked at some of the pricing, and the pricing is actually not that bad. The most expensive thing that I had seen, just kind of looking around, was the lights that you could get, which were like 66,000.
Okay.
Or I'm sorry, 6,600, not thousand.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah. So I mean, and I think everyone started with 2,000 arcs already.
Oh, great.
So
get out there in space and play.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a bunch of just simple stuff that they added that's huge for us, but everyone's kind of like, okay, whatever.
Right. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I guess the reason why I wanted to put it here is if you haven't started Elite Dangerous before,
there's never been a better
time because there's a good tutorial in there now, and these two guys that I'm recording with are more than happy to help Sherpa you as you get started in space.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's move on to questions. T-Bomb Rocks has a couple of questions here for us this week. He says, former Rare staff reveal Salamandos, a collectible album celebrating over 30 years of game dev that will feature new music and music from games they've worked on. What composers or groups of composers would you want to make an album similar to this? I feel like I would want like a greatest hits of Assassin's Creed, because there's a lot of really good music in there.
Yeah,
and
but you only ever hear it like once.
And there's a lot of like background music where it's like there's not a lot going on here.
I'm going to speak for my wife for once, as is my legal right to do so, and say she would very much appreciate a collaboration album of every single shanty from every single Assassin's Creed game ever, please.
Yeah, they did put out some shanty albums.
Yeah, but now they've got like the shanties in the new games and the shanties in the old games.
I don't know if they've kept up.
And there's different shanties in Odyssey if you have a male crew versus a female crew.
That's right. Yep.
So, yay. Honestly, music-wise, give me the specifically. I know it's probably already available out there, but give me themed episodes around specific things. So, Final Fantasy villains. Give me the villains theme for every single Final Fantasy character, but give me the original, a remake, I don't know, like a modern redone version of it. Like, I use this reference all the time. One Winged Angel is a fantastic song, or a fantastic piece of music in Final Fantasy VII. One Winged Angel in Kingdom Hearts is the best piece of music. And something for you, Boston, Kenny Omega, professional wrestler extraordinaire who does like fighting tournaments. His finishing move is called the One Winged Angel. Just thought you'd like to know that.
Yeah, but like you could take the original PlayStation 1, you could take the Kingdom Hearts 1, and then you could take like they perform it every time the Final Fantasy music tour goes around.
Show.
Yeah, like they always perform that, of course, because it's like it's the big hit. So you could sort of put those three together. That'd be cool.
And then you have to have the one from the Black Mages in there.
Yeah,
because you have to
Black
hear
Mages
it as a
are
rock
just
and roll
great.
song.
Yeah, Black Mages are so good. Yeah. I feel like I wish we got more like developer platform collections. So it's like, here's Capcom's Super NES stuff. Like it's one CD, we've taken the highlights out of a bunch of games and we sort of put them all in a collection. I feel like we don't see, either it's like, here's a soundtrack for one game, or here's a 15-disc soundtrack for our 30-year history. It's like, could be a middle ground here.
Just do like now that's what I call video games.
That's
1989.
Right. That's what I call bleeps and bloops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that would actually be cool to have it segmented every year.
Yeah.
Just to hear what how different and varied it was between the consoles and just genres in general.
Yeah.
Hey, Boston, have I got a project for you?
Yeah, it's called dynamicsoundtrack.com.
Yes, I do one episode every 2 months focused on 1 year, so you can
There
have year, then whatever episode you're planning on doing, then year and whatever episode you're planning on doing.
If you'd like me to do that, please sign up at patreon.com/E1M1, and you can fund that project. Yeah. T-Bomb Rocks also asks us, Rockstar now has its own gaming launcher. Feel free to eye roll there. This is most likely to prepare for Red Dead 2 on PC. You also get San Andreas for free right now as well. What publishers could benefit from having their own launcher? For me, it would be Capcom, because it would be great to have access to their entire, or at least most of its catalog in one place.
I think 2 different questions here. Number 1, what publishers can benefit from having their own launcher? Every single publisher can benefit from having their own launcher.
30%.
Because they benefit by 30%.
Yep.
Or
they want 100%.
Yep. Exactly. Who would I like to have their own? Everyone. Because launchers don't matter.
Yeah. It's funny because I feel like for the longest time, Steam was that place where it's like, you want to see every Capcom game? Just filter by company and select Capcom. And now it's sort of like, what gaming company should have their own platform? Like, let's bring back Square Enix's Play Online. Play Final Fantasy 11s, play some Tetramaster, have a web browser in there.
Play Online.
Yeah, Play Online was rough.
I think the problem is it's not the publishers having their own launcher that is stopping them from doing this. It's they just don't want to, or they don't see
the infrastructure.
They don't see the profit in it. Like, Capcom could very, very easily sit there and say, we can put out every single one of blank games. They just did it. They just did the Castlevania collection. Let's say suddenly Sega wants to put out a new Streets of Rage collection, if it hadn't already been done, which it has. At the end of the day, every one of these publishers and developers and everything, they put a black line, they put a red line. This red line is how much it's going to cost us to make this thing and make it available in a format and deal with all of the troubleshooting, the different machines that everyone plays it on, bugs, things like that. This red line is how much it will cost. This black line is how many we will have to sell in order to make it profitable for us. And they don't look at that as a small difference. Like, even if the black line is 2 units over the red line, they will never see 2 units of profit as worthwhile. That needs to be 3, 4, 6 times over the red line for them to be bothered doing it.
It's what Take-Two is looking at when you look at how much 30% loses you over the lifetime of Red Dead Redemption 2 and GTA 6 on PC. Like, that 30% is potentially hundreds of billions of dollars with the microtransactions that they're doing in Red Dead 2 and GTA 5. GTA 5 is the most profitable video game of all time. It's the most profitable media thing of all time, blowing out everything out of the water because those shark cards make them a lot of money.
Yeah, and it's not even just like the shark cards. It's like everything else. The shark cards... I love Jim Sterling. I think he did not hold Rockstar accountable enough in his most recent video, basically blaming Microsoft for everything on this generation.
I probably won't be watching that one.
I did not agree with his thoughts on that, considering Rockstar had already released GTA 5 at that point, which had shark cards in it.
Right.
But, I mean, it's like you said, it's the 30%. I mean, right now, GTA 5 has sold 110 million copies.
Yeah.
And let's just assume that is full price on everything. Doesn't matter what platform they've released it on, they have lost 30% of 110 million times 60.
Yep.
That's a lot of money.
And that's only from their standpoint, that's a problem that's only going to get worse. More people are going to have PCs, more people are going to have consoles, and they want 100% of that. Does it suck that there's going to be another launcher you have to download and install and maintain? Sure, but it's not the end of the world. I would prefer if it was on 1 or 2 platforms, but unfortunately that's just not going to be the future we're going to live under.
Which, by the way, quick math, I'm probably wrong, but 30% of 110 million at roughly $60 a pop is $1.98 billion.
Yep.
And that's literally not including any form of microtransactions.
That's just money they've lost. Like, they can make back $2 billion, and then get that 30% on shark cards or whatever GTA 6 is going to have.
Mm-hmm.
It's insane. Yeah. I mean, I get it, but I don't really care at the end of the day that I have to download and install another installer. It would be nice if there was like a minimum viable product for these launchers where it's like you have to have a wish list and a shopping cart and X, Y, and Z. Like, I want that to be the minimum, because, like...
It has to be usable.
Yeah, like, Epic Game Store still doesn't have, like, a shopping cart or a wish list or anything like that. Like, those, to me, are basic features that it's lacking. It'd be nice to have a launcher come out and be like, yeah, man, it's just... You do all the stuff. Like, whatever. You're ready to go. So, I don't know. Probably a problem that's going to be way worse in 2020. If I want to make an early prediction.
It's just going to get worse. I mean, Ubisoft...
30%'s a lot of money.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's...
Especially for Take-Two.
Yeah, but that's the funny thing is 30% of what Take-Two rakes in from these games is, like, it's studio-changing amounts of money for other companies.
And, like, that's why Capcom doesn't care. That's why they'll put their stuff on Steam, because it's like, that Resident Evil Left 4 Dead game, it's not going to make them $6 billion. It's going to make them a couple hundred, tens of thousands of copies, and they'll be fine. They'll be happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, that's all of our questions for this week. Thank you very much, everyone, for writing in. If you'd like to do so, if you'd like to visit us, you can do so at tvgp.tv. Everyone to find and follow us on the right-hand side of the page. Send us in questions. I'm going on vacation at the beginning of November, and I will be out for a weekend, which means we're going to do mailbag. So send in questions anywhere you really want. Twitter, Discord, email, whatever. Just make sure you mention that it's for the mailbag episode. Patreon.com/E1M1. The ones or numbers. Talked about that at the beginning of the show, but we got a lot of cool stuff coming over the next couple of weeks here. So go become a patron, get all the new stuff and all the old stuff. I don't delete anything. So you can... It's like hundreds of episodes up there right now.
Too many.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. So you can go get that. Game Club is Grow Home. We'll be playing that for a couple more weeks here.
Like 5 weeks, dude. Come on.
Yeah, it's another long month, which I'll take, which is great. Old Dog New Flicks is a brand new episode coming out on both the public feed and the Patreon feed this Friday. And I think that's it. I think that's it. And we'll see you all next week.
Bye.
Bye.
I only have two spooky lighting. Woo! I only have two titles this week.
Dude, I got like 5.
Start with you, Nimp.
Alright, I have a good Shriek. I have a slight problem, which is pretty much every week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You get the pew-pews right. It takes me back to being a child. Kylo Ren is a small forward.
Yep.
Snap map.
Snap map.
It didn't go well. Cleaning house with killers. Your wizard is the ball. And it feels like a ChuChu. Rocket.
Is the ball. Okay, Moon, what about you?
Probably vetoed straight away. Horny for blank.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Reacclimate myself to the heat. I am so sorry. Baby killer.
Also vetoed, but it was a really good sentence.
Yeah. Just lupus. Just lupus. Just the word lupus. Jacked up puppet show. That image is gone. Velociraptors are in your future. And something else I can't understand my own rating. Oh, launches don't matter.
Velociraptors are in your future?
Yes.
I have 99.9% full. Kylo Ren as a small forward, which I put a check mark next to.
It's going to be that one, I think.
Yeah, you get the Pew Pews right. Your wizard is the ball. Lupus, Jacked Up Puppet Show, and Velociraptors are in your future. I also like Velociraptors, but I feel like the Kylo Ren one is...
For me, it's
Title
Kylo
of the
Ren
bullet.
or Jacked Up Puppet Show, because
Yeah.
Jacked Up Puppet Show is a great tenor phrase.
That one
It
is
makes
too,
me
yeah.
think of bodybuilders in a puppet show.
Yeah, just a bodybuilder puppet show.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be great. I do really like Kylo Ren as a small forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to circle that one. I think that's our strongest one.
Yeah.
Okay.
What does a small forward do? I don't know sports.
No idea.
I don't know. Here, that's what we have Google for.
I think they do the 3-pointers, but I'm not sure.
Let's see.
Is there a small forward? Oh, go ahead.
So, basketball.
Mhm. I knew it was basketball. I knew it was a position in basketball because I played too much NBA Live 15.
All right. So, small forwards, also known as this must be great for the podcast. As the 3 is one of the 5 positions in a regulation basketball game. Small forwards are typically shorter, quicker, and leaner than power forwards and centers, but typically taller and larger than either of the guard positions.
So they're just scrappy.
Yes.
Seems like it.
Okay. I can get behind that. Alright, let me know when you guys are ready to go.
I'm kind of ready. I'm just going to make some BS up and hope it sticks.
I like it. That's the show.
Yeah.
Alright, starting in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 622 for September 23rd, 2019. Kylo Ren as small forward.
Smallest guy on the court.
And he takes it for the layup.
Alright, thank you so much everyone for watching us live. The audio at the beginning of this was totally borked up, and I'm sorry.
Yeah.
On the
that's
video.
Boston's
If
fault.
listening to the audio is totally fine for you. So
It's all Boston's fault. Everybody,
that's all my
just so
fault.
you know.
Blame XSplit. Grumble. Alright, we'll see you
XSplit.
next week, everyone. Bye!
Bye.